Happy holidays and welcome to the Comix Corner Podcast with B-Lar and Danny P.
Hey, everybody.
This is issue 18, and we are brought to you by the CLZ App and are part of the SPDM Podcast Crew. Please check out the SPDM website at spdmcrew.com. There you can see all the other podcasts that SPDM offers. This week, being the holidays, we're going to talk about our favorite Christmas gift that we received as a kid. We're also going to talk to you about what we've been reading. We do our picks for today, December 26th, and another edition of new ones. So, Danny, first off, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope things are going well.
Right back at you. Merry Christmas.
So, everybody's a kid on Christmas, I think. You know, we relive it through our kids. I know you and I are both fathers, and very much enjoyed Christmas with my daughter, and hope you did with your family too. So back in the memory bank, what was one of the best Christmas gifts you ever got?
For me, I got to go back. I was probably 8 years old, and Jabba the Hutt. It was like a whole play set, and Jabba the Hutt himself, and just an awesome scene, man. And that was definitely one of my favorite Christmases, between that and all the different Star Wars figures that came with them to go around the set, you know?
Yeah, so that, I'm guessing that would have been like a Return of the Jedi set?
Thereabouts, yep.
Yeah. So I have brothers, and I have my oldest brother. He is 9 years older than me. And then I have a brother who's 3 years older than me. And my oldest brother decided to he thought he was being funny. And he told me that I was getting the Millennium Falcon for Christmas, and my brother was getting the Death Star play set that had the trash compactor and everything. And when we opened our presents Christmas morning, I actually got the Death Star and my brother got the Millennium Falcon. So my mom's pissed at my oldest brother for saying something, and he's like, but I didn't tell him what they got. I told, he thought he was in the clear. So yeah, those Star Wars gifts as kids were always great, so always brings you back to the childhood, the Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely.
And we didn't talk about this before, so I might put you on the spot, and I apologize if I do. I know Marvel's putting out a lot of Star Wars comics. They own the rights. Obviously, Marvel is owned, Disney and Marvel are. But I also see Dark Horse still putting some out. Do they just also still lingering rights to some of the books?
They do only things connected to High Republic Adventures. So everything else is Marvel, but High Republic Adventures, which is even different from what the High Republic is in the Marvel universe. That's the only thing Dark Horse does nowadays.
Yeah, we had a listener ask a question about the Star Wars books and anything that we suggest and what we're reading that we like. And you and I talked about it. It was like, I really don't read any of the Star Wars comics right now. It's just something I never got into. And you were kind of like, yeah, you did in the past.
And it's a great jumping on point. What they do every couple of years is do the kind of time jump either forward or backward, and they're going to fill the gap of between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. So that's kind of cool. So right now, if you wanted to jump in, there's a lot of new number ones for that. But yeah, right now I'm not quite sure what's going on in the universe besides where it's at in the timeline.
Good. Well, yeah, I appreciate Aaron Lashbrook. I appreciate the question, and sorry we couldn't answer it for you. But I did see there was actually a new number one coming out, the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah, Jakku. That's been
Battle of Jakku Last Stand.
Yeah, that's been a mini series that's going on the last 2 months, and it's coming to a head, and they just slowly keep on building off of that to get to I know we just ordered Legacy of Vader, which looks like that's going to be a Kylo Ren story, which should be cool. So that's okay. Going to be kind of the next place to go to. Cool.
So what else? What have you been reading?
This week I only got to 2. With all this chaos at Diamond Comics, it goes from breaking down one day to we pretty much broke down between Keith, Tom, and I probably 4 or 5 days this week. Even on a Saturday, books were coming for them to fix it. So, but I got to a sweet one. Image had an oversized book. It looked like they're creating a universe. Garth Ennis wrote a Freddy the Fix, which is fantastic. It's a monster story, and almost like from like Pulp Fiction, like a Mr. Wolf situation, but a gent who comes and cleans up the mess for the monsters. And that was a one shot that was fantastic. Art just really very lifelike and gory, being a horror story, and that was kind of the start of the universe. There's going to be another one shot coming from that. And the other one I got to completely go a different direction was the Alligator Loki holiday special. which is just a fantastic bunch of little vignettes with, some have words, but not many of them are just short stories following the exploits of alligator Loki, which is hilarious. So for all ages, and just the art's very colorful and cartoonesque, and loved both of those. So that's what I got to this week. How about you?
Yeah. Real quick question, Freddie the Fixer. Did you say Garth Ennis wrote it? Oh, I see, and I love his stuff. So, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
actually finished the Babs 4 issues. Issue 4 just had come out, and
yeah,
it's been really good. So, I highly recommend it, anything Garth Ennis done ever since
yeah,
Preacher
absolutely, man.
and Hitman. There's just
Absolutely.
GI Joe #2. I read that. I'm liking the Energon universe. Got to it late. Void Rivals and the Transformers stuff. I've been happy that they've been reprinting them. I can't believe they're in a 10th printing of Transformers #1, but I was able to pick up some of the books to get to the backstory of the Energon universe. And this GI Joe book is coming out strong. Joshua Williamson, he's just doing a really nice job introducing characters. The team's trying to deal with Cobra, who they've got these Energon weapons, and it's just Duke takes his team, and they had a really not a good outing on their first one, and they bring in a new guy, codename Risk, who's there to kind of help revamp the team. But GI Joe is really good and continues to be strong. I checked out Challengers of the Unknown #1, the DC All In. It seems to have a lot to do with Darkseid. They when he was killed in DC, the All In special #1, when he exploded, they're saying his essence basically went out throughout the universe, and there's hot spots that have dark side energies to them. And the Challenge of the Unknowns are going out to look into them, and they're joined on the Justice League Watchtower. They're part of it. So the first one, character Ace Morgan, who is good friends with Hal Jordan, that could have been a Green Lantern kind of thing. Him and Superman go to Mars to check out a hotspot, a dark side hotspot, and some things happen there, and kind of looks like Superman maybe getting possessed. It was kind of like the last panel thing. His eyes start glowing red. So, pretty interesting stuff.
I know he saves the day a lot, but the universe would probably be a lot safer if Superman was around. Guy's always creating a problem.
Right. Something happens. He's always thinking. And then New Gods #1, you're not going to lie, I gave it a flip through kind of thing, but Evan Cagle, the artist, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Very nice job on the artwork. It's an Orion story with Mr. Miracle, who has a kid. And basically the idea is when an old god dies, like Darkseid has, a new god needs to rise up to take his place. And it looks like they're kind of pushing it that it's going to be Mr. Miracle's son, who is basically a baby. So we'll see where they go with that. But like I said, the artwork I was blown away by, thinking they just did a nice job. And Ram V is a very wordy writer. There's a lot of words on the panels, but his run on Detective was phenomenal, and I look forward to him to continue what he's doing. So, any books in particular you're looking forward to for this? Do you collect comics and need an easy way to catalog your books? I have the app for you. Try the CLZ app. This app gives you the ability to scan your books using a barcode, or individually, or as a series. Just type in the book name and click the box, and boom, the comic is in your collection. The app has variant covers and most new books each week, even the independents. You can try the CLZ app for free for 7 days. After the trial period is up, it is only $1.99 a month, or $19.99 for the year. So get the CLZ app wherever you download your apps today.
Wrapping up the holiday week here, we got Vampirilla Hell Day 2024. I always like grabbing those one shots. They do that once a year with her for some kind of holiday special going on around now. They got a one shot was a cool thing this week. Kid Pool and Spider Boy #1 from Marvel look pretty interesting. And that, like I said, I'm always a sucker for a one shot. One and done, good or bad, something to check out. And they look pretty good. And the new miniseries with Sabretooth, I don't know. I always end up liking the bad guys more than the good guys, but Sabretooth's one of my favorites. So The Dead Don't Talk is the new one by Frank Thierry. Looked pretty good in the arts. Michael Santamaria, just totally stands out. Gorgeous. So I was excited for all those this week. What are you looking forward to?
Green Lantern Dark #2. We're going to continue that tangent Green Lantern storyline. It's a bi-monthly book, which also is nice on the pocketbook. They've announced it as a bi-monthly. So looking forward for that. In Redcoat #8, we're starting a new story arc. I believe it's like in the 1860s. So we get to learn more about Simon Pure. And then Time Slide #1. We've got Bishop and Cable teaming up. And I just remember when From the Ashes came out, the initiative of it was, we're not going to do any stories that have to do with timeline and jumping back and forth in timeline. So you're not going to see Cable and Bishop. It was like, oh, okay, I do big fan of the Cable. I was very much into comics when he first came out, and the reveal that he's Jean Grey and Scott Summers' kid, or Madeline Pryor, actually. Sorry, and I don't know if that's still his origin or not, because in 20 years of not reading Marvel, they may have changed some things. But yeah, it didn't take them too long. It took them like 4 months, and all of a sudden now we're doing a story with Bishop and Cable. So, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I think this is more kind of the whole Marvel universe. It's kind of almost that timeless they do yearly, because I don't think we're getting a timeless. I think this instead. So it's kind of going through the mutant universe, and then we'll get that one page kind of showing you the future of what's supposed to happen this year. So that should be interesting. But yeah, you're right, because I think Cable's getting a miniseries too. So they didn't hold off on that very long.
Nope. So now we just got we'll have our list. It's not a long list of #1s this week, guessing because of the holidays. But coming out today, we got Black Box #1, Catabasis. I'm sorry, not Black Box publisher. It's Catabasis #1. Comics Experience Publishing has Airship. DC Comics has Metamorpho, the Element Man #1. That was Element, not Elephant. And Dynamic Entertainment, the Vampirella Holiday Special that Dan talked about. Keen Spot, it's Kids These Days. Marvel Comics has a few. Hell Hunters, Kidpool and Super Spider Boy. The Sabretooth, The Dead Don't Talk. Star Wars, The Battle of Jakku, Last Stand, and Time Slide. And that's it. Not a lot of #1s this week. But, I thought, I actually think I made this comment last week, was I didn't think there'd be a lot of books coming out this week because of the holidays. And DC looks like they just pumped a ton of books out. So I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, when I was a kid, been doing this forever. This would be an exciting week because Dad'd be a little less stressed out because there were no books, But as time went on, it became more and more. And yeah, it's just a normal week nowadays. It's not how it used to be with the skip week. The good thing is I'm very excited about is that the books came on time, and I feel I let you guys down, even though it's Diamond's fault and we haven't gotten everything the last couple of weeks. But we already got all the books for this week and ready to go. This fine Thursday, which is also weird for a new comic book day, but excited that at least for this week, it's back to normal.
Now, next week, being January 1st, are books released on the 1st, or is it going to be January 2nd, or do you know?
Again, with things being the way they are, we'll see. But originally, the release date was January 1st. So New Year's Day, we will be open and hopefully have brand new books, like they say.
Okay. Can you let us know about that subscription club, Dan?
Absolutely. For the month of January, it's going to be free, by the way. So make sure to come on in, join the club. You get 25% off the titles you put yourself on, 10% off everything else. A lot of great stuff coming up you're not going to miss. We'll be having some bundle packages for Amazing Spider-Man and Batman Hush when that comes up. So a lot of great things coming up in 2025. Come and join the club. Won't do you wrong.
I'll tell you what, that Batman Hush 2 storyline, I'm very much looking forward to. And from the artwork that they've released so far, man, is it going to be beautiful.
Yes.
So, well, that wraps up another issue of the Comix Corner Podcast with B-Lar and Danny P. We are part of the SPDM Podcast Crew and would like to thank the CLZ App for their sponsorship. Please check out the CLZ App when you get a chance. Please check us out on social media at Comix Corner Podcast on Facebook and Comix Corner Pod, all one word, on Instagram. As always, comics is with an X. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Read well, everybody.